A fitness influencer is braving a torrent of abuse from trans activists after revealing her soon-to-be open gym would be female only. And is this an actual, like, legit thing that's happening? Let me find out. And fitness influencer faces abuse and death threats from trans activists after pledging to open a female-only gym. As described on the facility's website, the gym stems from a desire to tackle gym harassment, intimidation, and sexual harassment that women face in a gym regularly. I think that this is a good thing. Personally, I do. I think that women's gyms are... oh god, I thought of a bad joke. If you want to have a men's gym, just take out all the mirrors. Anyway, so basically, I think there are guys that hit on women, and women feel like they're, women feel like they're kind of like being stared at, or like, you know, anything else, like while they're, you know, while they're at a gym. And I think that honestly, that's it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing, and I think that women deserve to have a private space. And the same as men do, by the way. Men also do. So it's not like women deserve this and men don't deserve this. If men want to make a men-only gym, I think they can do that too. But I think that women definitely could have this, and I think it's a good thing. Absolutely. So women ruined this? No, I don't think that's true. I think it's very easy for you to say that recently with the OnlyFans, you know, the advent of OnlyFans and influencer culture, that women have felt this way. But the fact is that women's gyms have been around for way longer than OnlyFans has. It's been around way longer than, you know, Fansly has. So to blame this on women because of like the perception of OnlyFans, I think that's outrageous. It's outrageous and totally unfair. There are women who get sexually harassed at gyms, and there are women who want to work out just with other women because it makes them feel more comfortable. And I think they should have every right to do that. Every right to do that. It's outrageous to say otherwise. Who's to say that people can't have their own, what do you call it, their own spaces? It's crazy. And so, yeah. Can we have a gym just for just fans, an OnlyFans gym? Now, that would be the most popular gym in the world. And 99% of the fucking people would be guys. But yeah, and anyway, yeah, I'd go there. Exactly, right? Yeah, let's be honest. And so, amassed over 1 million followers on TikTok, long shared her plans of a women's only gym. She made a post on 2021 regarding her policy to trans-identified males using her plans gemmed. Okay, so this person is... I see. So this person has completely gone protected. So you can't even see what they're saying. Let's see what her Twitter account even is. Natalie B. Fitness. I don't know if I can find it here. But anyway, so yeah, so she's gone protected because of how much harassment it is. So, and you see, like, these are some of the responses here. We can read them. So you seek to create a space for biological women. How do you intend to police that in a way that's not incredibly invasive? I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably a certain degree of the honor system. I mean, why would you join something or do something like that if you're not one of these people? Apart from being very disappointing transphobia, there's nothing transphobic about a woman wanting to have a space for biological women. Biological women and trans women are different. They are. It's just that's why they're called trans women, right? That's just how it is. And there's a difference between sex and gender. And this is basically discriminating based off of sex and not gender. Now, my personal viewpoint is that socially, I'm fine with treating trans women as women. But the thing is that when it comes to genuine sexual differences like sports or like being in a locker room with somebody, these transcend a gender norm. These transcend the cultural idea of gender, and they go into the base idea of sex. And in that circumstance, I think you absolutely should make decisions based off of that if you feel comfortable doing so. I don't think that there's a right answer for this, but the wrong answer is telling somebody else they have the wrong answer. That's my opinion. And you can take my name off the waiting list then. Very disappointing to see you backtrack, not surprised. So many allies don't actually have a backbone to actually defend us and unpack their prejudice. There's no prejudice here at all, and you're just simply not the same thing as a biological woman. Everybody knows this. Even you know this. That your doctor knows this. It's not an insult. It's just a fact. It's common sense, yeah. And I think that this type of this is the kind of stuff. I hope your gym fails. Honestly, how are you creating a safe space but excluding the most vulnerable? Well, she's doing it by having only women in the gym. And so it's that simple. Yeah, the sky is blue. This is the kind of stuff right here, by the way, that makes people oppose gay marriage. This is the kind of stuff that makes people do the skid marks on the LGBT flags. This is the stuff that radicalizes people against, you know, putting your preferred gender identity into a felony for identity theft or impersonation. This is what radicalizes people, because any normal, well-reasoned, well-intentioned, good person can clearly see the difference between a biological woman and a trans woman. So anybody who's turning this into an attack on this person is willfully, dishonestly, and intentionally completely disregarding reality. And they're doing so in a hostile way that's hurtful. Little bro's not fooling anyone. No. And I think this is the reason why you see this level of extremism. Like, I'm so glad that we're looking at this, because I think this is the perfect example of this community Ouroborosing it itself. Like, it's eating itself and it's hurting itself. Because if you don't understand the reason why women want a women's only gem, and you're trying to convince them that, no, you don't know what you want, in my opinion, you're no different than the men that are saying that, well, I think, you know, that women shouldn't be able to have a women's only gem. You're just the same. What's the difference between these safe spaces and segregation in the past? Simple. Genetic biological differences between different races are on a massive spectrum, and I think that it's not the same thing as sex. Like, what do you think is a bigger difference? Sex or race? Well, let's base it on voting. Black men got a chance to vote before women did. I think the fact is that gender is a gigantic, enormous fucking barrier. Sex is an enormous fucking barrier. Like, let's say race is 5%, gender's 100. That's a massive one, right? It's huge. And so, you dumb motherfucker, it's optional? Well, what do you mean it's optional? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Sex transcends species. That's also true, too. Sex does transcend species. Yeah, this is a reality for everything. And what conservatives are mad? Twitter accounts are being suspended. I said build your own Twitter, but you want to protect the most if you want to protect the most vulnerable, build a trans women only gem. Yeah, and I think that, for example, like, if you had a women's only gem and you allowed trans women in it, I think that's completely okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in the same way, if you don't, I think that's also okay too. So yeah, this woman is getting completely harassed and attacked massively. And I'm really actually kind of shocked to see this happen. And yeah, there it is. She's talking about Girls Spot operates as a female-only gym for biological women. And sexual assault. The tweet circling I made 4 years ago was in very early stages of creating a concept. And hope your business fails. You're a bigot. Oh, girl, fuck you. She's transphobic. Clusterfuck of transphobic bigots. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to make people more transphobic than this. It is. And it's really sad to see it happen, because I think that there's a lot of well-reasoned and, good-intentioned trans people that are unfortunately being lumped in with this group of extremists that are aggressive, virtue signaling, and a lot of these people are probably not even trans to begin with, right? So they're just basically, these people are taking your cross and they're nailing themselves up to it and saying, look how virtuous I am, I'm trying to help you, right? And I feel bad for the trans people that are just good-intentioned, well-meaning, just normal, average people that just want to live life as the opposite gender, that can clearly see what the difference here is. And unfortunately, they're being caricatured and put in the group with these radicals that are oftentimes not even trans. They're not even trans. These are just virtue signalers on social media, and it's radicalizing everybody against trans people. We do not care. I think that you should. I think that you should care, because these are people that want to live their life in a different way, and if they're not hurting anybody, I think they should be able to do that. And if you can't live your life in the way that you want to live your life, why are you living? Why do you exist? If you can't do the things that you want to do, if you can't be the person that you want to be, why are you alive? And so what is the reasoning for taking somebody's ability to do that away from them? And I can see there's a couple of examples where it would make sense. This, in my opinion, isn't one of them. So yeah. And good point. That's the way I see it, right? And also, by the way, I think the amount of pushback that I'm getting in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that proves my point, doesn't it? That proves my point. That's the issue. And I think this is just a terrible situation. Internet virtue signaling for likes and everything like this. It's really sad. They've proven their point better than any business plan ever could. Yeah, exactly. And I really feel bad for these people. It really sucks. And bad argument. The trans woman wants to go to that woman only gem. I'm sure that there are some trans women that do. But what my point is that I think that there are a lot of trans women that understand inside of instances of sexual differences that are being discussed and sexual differences that are on the table. That is something that they are willing to compromise on, because it, like, basically everybody can debate whether you can change your gender, right? There's a big debate on whether you can change your gender. There's no debate on whether you can change your sex. You can't. That's it. You can't do it. Now, maybe at some point in the future, when we have much better technology, you'll be able to. So in this circumstance, this is a differentiation that's done based off of sex and not gender. Why is this even a topic when it comes to going to a gym? There's a lot of reasons. Talk to women that go to gyms and they'll tell you. So yeah, that's the way that I feel about it. And yeah, virtue signaling is reality for people involved inside these topics. Actual reality is put aside for fantasy-based ideologies. It is, and I'm really disappointed to see this. I think it's really sad. I completely agree that the abuse definitely paints trans in a bad light. It's already an oddity from the norm, and now it's perceived as hostile. I think you're absolutely right, and it's really sad for me to see this happen. I mean, again, I'm not a trans disliker. You guys know I don't really make, like, how many times have I ever really made, like, a meme, like any sort of, like, coded joke about trans people? Like, basically never, right? You can go back 10 years ago. I've never made a joke like that. I don't think like that. It's just not the way that I feel. And so, like, not enough? Yeah, sorry about that, man. Maybe one day it'll change. But, yeah, I just don't think so. And, yeah, it's more just who gives a shit. Yeah, exactly. And if anything, defend them and speak up for them when they're wronged. Yeah, I do. And trans people deserve respect like any other group. Simple. Yeah, I think so. But I think that making a gem that's exclusive to biological women is not disrespecting trans. And I think that the people that are doing this are, in a lot of cases, the problem is that what I find to be most disappointing about this is that it is primarily a bunch of biological women who are virtue signaling on behalf of trans and creating this echo chamber of virtue signaling that radicalizes the population against legitimate trans people. So it's kind of like what I said in multiple cases, right? Where it's like the actual people that you're trying to help end up being hurt because of your virtue signaling. And I think this is a great example of that happening. It's really sad to see. Why do you think trans men isn't as big of an issue as trans women? I don't know. I think this is because usually in this gem dynamic, the men are the aggressor and the women are the victim. Where it's like the man is aggressing and encroaching on a woman's personal space, whereas the woman is the one who is being encroached on and aggressed upon. Right? Like, that's just the truth. And so, like, and I know that, like, obviously we want to pretend like everything's equal. It's not. It's just simply not. And that's the difference. Simple as. Yeah, exactly, right? And, yeah, I'll read a few more comments about this, and then we'll move on. But, yeah, I'm actually glad that I got a chance to see this. I think this is it's really, really bad. And I think that, again, it's not for anybody's benefit whatsoever. And they're proving her point. They are. And I don't think terminally online people have time to go to a gym anyway. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, half these people aren't even going to the gym. Yeah, what is this here? All the hormone treatments, physical mutilation, taking a toll. I don't know about that. I mean, that's not even what's happening. Most of the people that are in these comments that are saying this aren't even trans. Keep your girl only gym. Don't bend to the creeps. Yeah, exactly. Never bend and never rationalize to these people. And trans people are destroying it for themselves by pushing themselves on other people. So I'm going to pull your comment up just so we can talk about this for a minute. So did you notice, and you're not getting banned. You're not getting banned or anything like that. Do you see kind of like how a lot of the people that are making these comments, these are not even trans women. Some of them are. It seems like this person is. Maybe. I mean, they have a trans flag. Many of these people are not even trans women that are making these comments. Hard to tell, to be honest. It is hard to tell, but I think a lot of these people are even saying as a biological woman. How can you tell? I think that a lot of people that are trans either have like pronouns or they have a flag in their bio. I think it's pretty common, actually. But yeah, you're right. I mean, no, you're right that like you can't always tell. So the point that I'm making, Alfie, is that a lot of the people that are really virtue signaling on this are doing it on behalf of them. And that was the really point. That was the point that I was making, right? And so, and I feel like this line of reasoning is that, yes, obviously there are some trans people that are insane, activists, crazy, obnoxious, annoying, stupid, and they're wrong. Absolutely. But really, when you think about it, trans is like, what, 0.5% of the population, 0.1% of the population? It's like almost none of them. So there's hardly any of these people. So logically, when you have a big outpouring of people like this that are talking about it, just based off of statistics, the majority of these people are not going to be trans. And that's the point that I'm making. And guys who harass girls at the gym is what, 0.5% of the population? Yeah. No, actually, I think that there's a lot of women who just, and this is another component too, is that a lot of women feel uncomfortable with men in that space doing something that they feel like puts them in a sexually compromising position. That's it. They feel uncomfortable with it. And I don't think that I don't think it's wrong to feel that way. And it does. Because people who care about X game are also a tiny minority, but they all show up whenever the game's discussed. I see what your point is that these things attract a lot of these people, and so because it attracts a lot of these people, then you would have a disproportionate amount. But also, I think this is not true, and I think you can go again and read a lot of these comments, and you can look at these people and see how many of them, like what percentage of these negative comments, let me ask you a question, what percentage of these negative comments do you think are actually from trans people? I'd say 5%. It's definitely more than the average, but to say this is what's happening, yeah. So why is it such a big deal with male-only gems besides the blatant double standards? I think that male-only gems are fine. And if people were being criticized for making a male-only gem, I would say the same thing. I don't see the problem. Is it bad to glance at a woman, or is it bad to stare? I think glancing at somebody is fine. I think staring at them is bad. It's very simple. And I feel like this is basic social etiquette that it's the same as, and like you look at like, you know, women, right? And so it's like, okay, is it bad to stare at a woman on, you know, the leg press machine or something like that? Yeah, that's bad. But it's also bad to stare at, like, I'd say a fat person just trying to walk the treadmill at, you know, the 1 out of 10 speed. Like, I would say that's also equally or similarly disrespectful and breaching social etiquette. Am I crazy? Yeah. That's how I see it. I think this is like just being a good, normal, like regular, you know, normal person. Bro, that's so obvious. It is. It's so obvious. It is. It's so fucking obvious. I don't know why I have to say it. No, you're right. Exactly. Just be normal. Yeah, just be fucking normal. What's the problem here? And Sarah, what do you mean, people? Which normal dude would not get mad? Another dude stared at him in the gym. I think that it's like some guys want other guys to stare at them at a gym, or they want girls to stare at them at a gym. And that there are also girls that want that too, right? I mean, it's definitely there. It's a degree of exhibitionism for sure. Or showing off, like, oh, I hope everybody watches me whenever I bench, you know, 405, right? Or something like that. Definitely. 100% that happens. But I don't think that's the norm. And that shouldn't be the default. And I think the people that are doing that, it's very obvious that they're doing that, right? It's like, I remember I would go to the gym with Jeff and Cody, and they would take their shirt off at Planet Fitness. It says, don't do that. It says, don't take your shirt off, and they would take their fucking shirt off. Why are you doing this? You're doing this to show off. Everybody knows you're doing it to show off. Yes. Yeah, Planet Fitness. Well, and the worst part about it is it's like smurfing. Like, these are guys, I mean, they like, at Planet Fitness, I think the biggest dumbbells they have are 75. These guys can curl 100s, right? They can curl probably 125s. At least probably at some point they were able to. And so, like, you're going in here, you're smurfing at Planet Fitness, you're buying a Bronze League account, and you're going in here just to show off. One arm? Yeah, for sure. I mean, no, they work out all the time. Also, steroids, right? And so, like, yeah, of course. And smurfing IRL. So I think it's the same thing. It's so obvious when somebody's doing it for a specific reason, right?